Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 13 mini and compare it against the iPhone 13 Pro and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, I will definitely tell you, for the everyday person, getting something like the iPhone 13 Pro is probably going to be the significantly better phone, probably for the everyday person, and that is probably the device that I look at as probably being the better one for every single person out there, and that's the one I'd probably recommend every single person to buy. But I do think the 13 mini is still a very good phone to pick up. I think there's still a lot of quality behind that device, and if you are going to go and pick up a phone, I would probably recommend going through and buying a device like that. But I think the 13 Pro probably makes a lot more sense to go and buy, probably for the everyday person. So we'll take a look at that throughout this whole entire video. If you want to pick up either one of these particular phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular phones, the iPhone 13 mini, which came out back in 2021, on the front of this particular phone is going to be giving you a 5.4-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. And this is a good panel. I've always felt like these particular panels that Apple made were very good. They have a lot of capability. They're 60 Hz panels, so they're not the best ones, and they are smaller, as you can probably tell. And that can be kind of a disadvantage that you're going to be getting if you're going to be, getting any type of phone. This can be kind of a sad thing, the fact that this particular phone is kind of in the situation where it's smaller. But that could also be an advantage for you. That could be a reason why you'd want to go ahead and buy this phone in the first place, is because it is such a smaller phone for some people. So I think that's a big thing to keep in mind. If you're going to go through and pick up a device, like I said before, that could be the reason why you end up going through and purchasing that particular device. On the other side, with the iPhone 13 Pro, this phone is bigger. It's also built way better as well. It's giving you that 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, but this is a 120Hz ProMotion display at that, which is an amazing thing to have. I love having these types of panels. They just are my favorite things ever. And those things in and of itself, I would say, are kind of the big reasons why I look at these types of, phones and these types of displays as probably being some of the best ones Apple has made. Although they're not the best ones of all time, they're still very good panels, and I'm still a humongous fan of the way this particular phone holds up from that particular side. Both are giving you lightning ports at the bottom, and the sides are built a little different though. The iPhone 13 Pro has a better, more premium feeling, reflective side, where the 13 mini is just kind of this flat, aluminum side, but both are very good. I don't really have too many issues there. On the back side, you are basically getting a frosted glass back on the iPhone 13 Pro. With the 13 mini, you're getting a standard glass back. This is also another really big advantage, I would say, for something like the iPhone 13 Pro, because that particular device is going to be giving you it's going to be giving you that overall better experience there. And I think that in of itself, once again, is another very cool thing to kind of have. And if I'm going to go through and pick up a device, I definitely am a humongous fan of being able to go through and pick up something like that. So I'll definitely tell you on the outside, I would probably say the iPhone 13 Pro is just built better and it feels significantly better in my personal opinion. But I don't really think there's too many crazy bad issues going on with either one of these. But I definitely do look at a phone like the iPhone 13 Pro as probably being the way better one in almost every single way than the iPhone 13 mini from a build quality standpoint. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. Now, in terms of the price tags, the iPhone 13 Pro is a more expensive phone than the iPhone 13 mini. So that is kind of the one big thing to kind of keep in mind here. So if you are going to go ahead and basically pick up a phone, the 13 Pro, it's not going to be the cheapest phone anymore. And that's, going to be kind of a problem here. The 13 mini is going to be slightly cheaper than the 13 Pro. So keep that in mind. But I think that's still a very, very nice, good thing going on for this particular phone too. So overall, that kind of covers up the exterior and the price tag. Now, moving on to the cameras of both these things. This is also another very big difference, I would say, and kind of throw in here when it comes down to both these devices. With the iPhone 13 mini, this camera on the back is a dual camera setup. So it's going to be a wide and an ultra wide camera. 12 megapixel wide, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. Where the iPhone 13 Pro is going to be a 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel telephoto, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. So both these cameras are great. You're getting that triple camera setup on the backside, which I think is very, very nice to have. And I think these things in and of itself are very, very nice cameras. You're getting 4K at 60 on the back, and you're getting 4K at 60 on the front as well, which personally for me, I'm a massive fan of. I think these things in and of itself are just really cool, and I love having these types of displays and having these types of cameras because they actually perform very, very well for a long duration of time. And I do think if you're going to go through and pick up a device, I think this is a nice thing. I think it's a very, very good camera. Now, I will say the 13 Pro is going to be giving you the overall better camera because that one is going to be giving you the additional ultra-wide camera and the additional telephoto lens. So although you're getting a ultra-wide camera inside of the 13 mini, I still think the experience is overall just better inside of the iPhone 13 Pro when it comes down to it. So definitely when it comes down to the camera side, the iPhone 13 mini, it's a good camera and everything, but the 13 Pro is probably the better one when it comes down to it, in my personal opinion. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, in terms of the software longevity, this is also one of those other big things to keep in mind here, because when it comes down to the software, the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 13 mini, theoretically speaking, are probably going to be lasting probably the exact same amount of time. Now, the problem that we're kind of having here is that when it comes down to the, I would say when it comes down to the whole entire, performance and everything like that, we'll get into that in a second, but the chipsets are basically the same thing. So because of that, you're going to be stuck in the situation where the phones, both of them are going to be giving you the same type of software experience. So there's not really this big massive difference between, either one of these. So I think that's kind of a big thing to keep in mind here. If you're going to go through and pick up either one of these, like I said, it might just make more sense to go and buy a device like the iPhone 13 Pro. Although neither one of these is going to last longer, you're probably going to be getting the overall better experience inside of the iPhone 13 Pro over the iPhone 13 mini. So that's kind of another big thing to kind of keep in mind there as well. Now finally, when it does actually come down to the performance, as I've been hinting at throughout this whole entire video, the performance is basically the exact same thing on both of these particular devices. So it's not really going to feel like you're going to be getting one device that's going to be way faster than the other one, but I will tell you a few things. One, when it comes down to the overall performance, they have the same chipset, but the iPhone 13 Pro is giving you more RAM. So this can be one of the bigger assets for that type of device, for buying an iPhone that is going to be giving you more RAM because it's going to be able to handle more things in the background. However, this is another big thing. When it does kind of come down to the performance side, you're going to be getting a little bit of a higher clock chipset instead of the iPhone 13 Pro. But the biggest thing, one of the biggest things, is you're also going to be getting a 120Hz of ProMotion display instead of the iPhone 13 Pro. So I think this is another very big thing to kind of keep in mind here too, because that device is going to be giving you that type of better experience. And I do think this in and of itself, once again, is another very big thing to keep in mind, because you're going to be able to go through and get this type of device, get this type of chipset. And I definitely do think, although the 13 mini is still very good, the 13 Pro, in my personal opinion, is probably the better one here in almost every single way. But like I said before, I think a phone like the 13 mini is still very good. And for how small this phone is, it kind of gives you the impression that it's way faster than it should be, which is kind of funny. But in my personal opinion, that's kind of how both these phones kind of hold up from that particular side as well. So overall, what I'll definitely tell you is I like both these phones and I love both these phones, but I don't know if there's one device that I would say is the best one of all time, but the iPhone 13 Pro is one of my most favorite iPhones. It's my favorite device. It's one that I would still continue for people to go and buy. And that is the one that I look at as probably being the best one in almost every single way. So in terms of that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.